Soul to soul, feel the rhythm flow. Heart wide open, let your spirit glow. With Artie Hoffman, now you know. Soul to soul, let's go.
Welcome back to Soul with Artie. I'm here with Mr. Artie
And
Hoffman.
Esther.
And Esther. That's
Yeah,
me.
that would be you.
Yeah, Mr. Artie Hoffman, who has been doing this for what? 30 years? 35 years?
At least
35
30
years. We, again, as usual, I like to bring up the fact that you have had almost 30,000 readings.
Yeah, that's pretty safe to say. Yeah.
And you do them individually, but you also do them as a group.
As a group. Yeah, I love doing audiences.
Right. So tell us how that works when you do an audience. How do you do that as opposed to one-on-one?
You know, when I'm in an audience, there's a lot of energy going on. And of course, everyone's all excited to hear what I have to say to them.
Of course, who wouldn't be?
So, I do audiences of 20 and I've done audiences as high as 225, 250. So what I do is, and I try to reach as many people as possible. And what I do is I spend about a minute or two with each person when I go out to the audience, and I'll hold their hand or I will touch their shoulder. And I focus just on that person's energy, and I just start seeing images right away. And I'll start seeing pictures, I'll start hearing voices, or I hear songs.
Wow.
And I go from person to person to person. And what's really funny is when people are at the table and their friends are right there, they go, oh my God, he begged you. Oh my God, he was right. Oh my God.
Right, that's
they all
true.
freak out. But then again, what happens, there are times where I'm trying to reach somebody at the table and it ends up being somebody else across on the other side of the table.
So that actually happens. You pick up on someone else.
On someone else's energy, absolutely.
That's so interesting.
So before I go into the audience, I let them know. I said, look, when I think I'm reading you or when I'm trying to read you, I might be picking up on your best friend. I might be picking up on your children. I could be picking up on your boyfriend, your husband. I said, I don't know, but my goal is to reach you. So if you can't relate to what I'm saying, then it has to do with somebody within your close circle that I'm reading. And then, like I said, sometimes if someone's energy at the table is so strong that literally I'll start reading the person at the other end of the table or right next to them. And that's happened many a times. That's happened many a times when I'm trying to read somebody. It turned out to be the person sitting right next to them. It was their friend or whoever. And then I'm trying to read somebody else. And again, that person's energy, I'm reading that person still. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder about people, let's say if they're in the audience and they tend to be more religious. So, people who are religious, do they have a more difficult time relating to what you say? Do you find that they sort of battle the existence of spirituality, the existence of of psychic ability? In other words, what is the difference between religion and spirituality?
The difference between, religion starts with an R and spirituality starts with an S.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No, religion is supposed to be a bridge to spirituality.
Okay.
Spirituality is the connection to God. Spirituality is the connection to the divine spirit, the angels, and heaven.
Right.
And religion is supposed to help you get a physical understanding about spirituality. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's not, because religion too many times is about control and in their beliefs. So, when they say, oh, you're going to go to hell, there are certain religions say, oh, if you don't do what we say, or if you break the commandments, you're going to go to hell. And it's no. So what I strongly believe in my heart and soul is that religion creates the boogeyman. And if you want us to save you from the boogeyman, then you better go to church or you better go to temple so that you could repent your sins, or you could pray to God and ask for this protection so we could protect you from hell and protect you from the boogeyman. The boogeyman to me, meaning the devil or whatever. But a lot of it is religious, self-inflicted. It's not reality. When it comes to religion, the funny thing is people will ask me certain questions about historical moments, historical feelings, or historical situations. And I tell people, I said, well, I wasn't there at the time. So I really can't, tell you from my conscious level point of view. So I will tell you an example of what did happen to me.
Okay.
So one of my very dear friends, I call him Dr. Steve. He's a he's a doctor, and comes up from a Jewish religion and stuff like that. And he liked to pick my brains. He saw an ad in the paper about me, and I read for him, and I told him things that like kind of blew him out of the water, which made him more of a believer because he was having a hard time. Is this really for real?
Exactly the point I was
Because
getting
he
at.
needed to
Yeah.
physically experience. So being that he saw my name was Artie Hoffman, he says, "Oh,
So he was an Orthodox Jewish man.
no, he wasn't Orthodox.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was an Orthodox
He was
Jewish man.
conservative.
Okay.
He was a conservative Jewish fella.
Okay.
All right. A conservative Jewish fella, a Jewish person is somebody who like believes in the religion and keeps the traditions, as much as possible, and they follow certain bylaws of the Jewish religion. But Orthodox is they follow everything to the T.
Right.
They're
Okay.
very religious,
I
or
understand.
very traditional. Whereas conservative is very traditional. And they do all the holidays, and some of them do go acknowledge the Sabbath on Saturdays, Friday nights and Saturdays. So, and I'm just talking from a Jewish point of view. But as far as what was the question again? Seriously, what was?
No, it was the spirituality versus religion.
As far as the religion.
And also the fact
Oh,
that
I wanted to tell you the story.
Oh.
with Steve, with Dr. Steve.
Okay.
So
he's a physician.
He's a physician.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Medical
so
physician.
he's
Okay.
trying to understand from a medical point of view, from a logical, from an Einstein point of view,
Right.
of physicists compared to spirituality.
Right.
This is where he's coming from, and trying to combine the two and try to have an understanding. So he said to me, he goes, Art, I don't know if I actually buy into the fact was Jesus actually the Son of God? He goes, what's your feelings on that he was the Son of God?
That's so interesting that he asked you that. Okay.
So I sat there for a moment because I didn't want to give him my logical answer.
Okay.
I wanted to give him the correct spiritual answer. And I said to him, give me a minute. And so we were having dinner at the time, and I'm sitting at the table quietly. And I said to him, I said, this is
the mic.
okay. So I said to Steve, I said, this is the answer. I said, he was the Son of God. I says, but no more than you and no more than me. We're all the Son of God. And that lady over there at the other table, she's the daughter of God. I said, Jesus was just a more highly evolved spirit than we are. He's much more advanced than we are as far as understanding love, as far as spirituality. And he came onto this earth to teach us, as did other prophets, to teach us about love and what's real, and, to keep our faith, and to teach us about patience and love, unconditional love. He came here to teach us that God really does exist and there's only one God. But his question was, is he really the Son of God? And I just said, yeah, he is. But like I said, just as much as you are the Son of God, I said, we were all created in his image. And so, like I said, he's a spirit at the ultimate level of spirituality.
So I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to me. I was actually at a jewelry party with my good friend Katya, and we were talking about you, that we were doing a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And there was a woman there who I knew pretty well, and she was a devout Catholic, and she was hearing us talk, and we sort of, and she's, would you be interested? And she goes, oh, no, no, no. And she like held on to her, because I would never, we don't believe in that. I'm just wondering if you've encountered that with people who are very religious. Are they like totally against what you do?
Oh, yeah, for sure. People sometimes have even compared me to the devil, or you're doing devil's work. And my answer to them is like, it might be against your religion because that's what they've trained them to think. Like I said, it might be against religion. I said, but it's not against God. I said, God's the one who gives me the ability to heal and gives me the ability through his power to give people answers from heaven or to give answers upon your life. So, that's that's the truth of it. I say to people, I said, if you're telling me that what I do is the devil's work, then I need to shake his hand and thank him because he's helped me heal a lot of people. So it all depends what your intentions are behind your actions is what makes something right or wrong. Now, are there people who do what I do to manipulate people for their own benefit? Yes. And so therefore, yeah, I can understand why religion or people would say, oh, that's against religion. You're doing negative. You're doing it because there are people who use that ability to their own benefit. So I'll give you an example. And it's a shame that there are psychics out there like that and say, oh my God, you go in to see them and they go, oh my God, somebody put a curse on you. And that's why your love life sucks. And that's why you're struggling financially. But I'll tell you what, for $12,000, you give me a piece of gold jewelry, $12,000, and I'm going to burn a candle for you. Or give me 1,000 or give me 3. It adds up. It adds up. I know people have mortgaged their houses to give people money.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah. So you have to be careful of those readers who advertise with the purple light, and be careful of the advertisers, the religious people who say $10 specials, $20. They don't make a living on your $10 specials or $20 specials. Now, I'm not speaking for every single one of them. Not all of them are like that, but a majority, with a capital M, majority of them are like that because they draw you in. Now, the dark side is very clever, and they will tell you things about yourself that is like, oh my God, they must be real. And now you're saying, somebody did put a curse on me and they put the eyes on me and it stems back from your mother or your grandmother and it's a lineage, and that's why. So if you want me to break the curse from you for $5,000 and burning a candle and saying a prayer, I said, I'll release the curse from you and blah, 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 blah. And so people buy into it. So under those circumstances, I can understand because there are people who don't use the gift in a beautiful way. So all the apostles had the ability, Jesus had the ability, but just because you could do what they do doesn't mean that, just because I'm mimicking them, that I'm an evil person or a bad person. Then, not that I could walk on water, unless if it's shallow, baby. If it's really shallow, I can walk on water. Or not that I could turn water into wine, but there are people, believe it or not, who are living on earth today who do have that ability to do that. Now, it also depends on the will of the person giving, like if you were the psychic and I'm coming to see you, and if I give my power believing in you so much in your abilities, I am giving you the ability to do your best for my behalf because I'm believing in you. Now, if you have this gift of seeing and healing, and I don't believe in you, and I am shutting you down, my energy is shutting you down. It could be out of anger. It could be out of resentment. It could be out of jealousy. It could be out of anything. I shut down my energy, and now you can't read me because you're not allowed to work. You can't work your free will over me because I block my energy from you. So, I'm going to tell you an interesting story that happened with
Please do.
I'm going to tell you, I will.
Thank God.
I will. Just for you, though.
Oh, all right.
And if anybody else wants to listen in, you can listen. We'll let them listen in.
Let's hear it.
There was this fellow, I forgot his name, and I'm not saying this because I don't believe it. If I remembered his name, I would definitely advertise his name. He's out of Chicago. But this fella had an incredible gift of healing everybody by the touch. He would just be with you, whether you had cancer, whether you had dementia, whether you had bone disease, whether you had anything wrong going in your body. And he was a doctor also by trade. He would just put his hands on you. He would say a prayer over on you for 5 minutes. That's it. And he would have you leave. And you would have to go to see him 3 days in a row. And from what I understand also, his prices were extremely reasonable. Don't ask me the doctor's name or how much he charged. I forgot. I read this in a book about this specific
You
gentleman
know, we can figure it out and then we'll put it down below, from
later on.
our podcast. Yeah, we'll find the name
And
of
I
this
don't even know if he's still
individual.
doing it. Hopefully he's still doing
Okay.
it. But anyway, I know he was based out of Chicago. So anyway, he would heal people after people after people after. He had a sensational reputation. And I don't know why my mind's drawing a blank on him, but neither here nor there. So these 3 girls went in to see him because they were having lots of body ache issues, all 3 girls. They lived in the same neighborhood. They worked at the same place.
That's interesting.
And their body with arthritis, and they were young girls too, arthritis, their joint, everything was bothering them, headaches, the whole 9 yards. You know, like everybody else, he treated them. He did them 3 days. He treated them. And about a week later, they all still had their pains. They all still, and he couldn't understand it. And, it took a blow to his ego. He's human. Took a blow to his ego. And he did a little research. Why is it that I'm not able to heal these 3 girls? Like, what is it about them? He found out through a little research that all 3 girls had a lawsuit against the company that caused them to get all these pains.
Oh.
If they were cured and healed, they would no longer have a lawsuit, and they wanted the money.
Oh, that makes sense.
So again, you need to give the person the right to be able to work on you.
Yeah. You have to be open to it.
You have to be open to it for allow it to happen.
And really want it.
And really want it. Now, there was a woman, I'll never forget, I was doing one of my Artie parties, and there was a woman, she walked in, she was like a little butchy looking, to be honest with you, red hair, I remember, and she walked in instantly with an attitude with me, and I didn't take it personal. It's like, oh, you got your own shit going on, it's not my problem. So she sits in front of me, and she was like this with me. She had her arms crossed.
Sort of blocked.
She's trying to block me and stuff like that. And now, mind you, I'm not trying to heal her or do anything. I'm just, so I talked to her for a couple of minutes to help loosen her up just a little bit. And I made her laugh and all. And so I instantly said, "Who's Joseph?" I said, "You're having a problem with somebody by the name of Joseph. And I feel like it might be a father figure. And he wants to apologize for the way he treated you." And she said to me, I'll never forget this. She looked at me. She goes, "I'm very angry with you right now, Artie." I go, and I laughed at her. I go, "Why?" She goes, "Everyone downstairs was bragging about you and telling me how good you are. And they were talking about their readings." And she goes, "I wanted to go downstairs and tell everybody that you weren't the real deal. I wanted to tell everybody that you weren't good." And she goes, "No, I can't do that." And she says, "Joseph was my father."
Wow.
And she goes, and I'm really angry right now. She goes, "Because I just wanted to prove you wrong. And instead you proved me wrong."
Unbelievable. So our producer just sent us this. The individual you were speaking about, the physician who had the healing power, was his name by any chance Dr. Ricardo Rosenkrantz?
Could be. I honestly don't remember, even if you gave me the right name. It could be, but you want to know something? It's worth following up on.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
It's worth following
you.
up on, you know? But yeah, he was true blue, worked his power like Jesus. He was a healer through and through. And he doesn't claim himself to be Jesus. He's just a person who 100% believed in the ability to heal people. And when you have that kind of belief system, when you understand that spirituality has a way of breaking all the physical laws of physics to make the impossible possible, you could call that a miracle.
And he's a man of science.
He's a man of science, right? So yeah, that's what a miracle is. The definition of a miracle is when something happens that's beyond physical comprehension or physical physicists of dynamics, and it still happens. And I'm going to share with you another true story that comes into my mind. So
tell us a false story.
All right, I'm going to tell you a false story. that some people, I'll tell you as legend has it.
Okay, go ahead.
I know I have a habit of saying, let me tell you this true story. I know, but because it's just amazing. And I don't even realize I say that. So thank you for bringing that up to me, you son of a
That's
bitch.
my
No, I'm
job.
like kidding.
Yeah, that's okay.
Darling.
It's all with love.
It's all with love. So she was a nurse. Her name's Michelle.
Okay.
And her name is, I want to say Michelle. Her name's Teresa.
That's a
Her
big
name's
difference
Teresa.
between
Yeah,
Michelle
Teresa,
and Teresa.
Michelle.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna do
Shanae.
this. It's making me crazy. Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
okay. So her name was Teresa, and she was working as a nurse, and she
Okay.
was also a very, very religious person, and she also had psychic abilities beyond.
Wow.
She was and is amazing, and she stopped doing all that work. You know, she decided in her religious beliefs, she decided to become a Catholic at that time. Then later converted to Judaism.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So yeah, so she went from being a spiritualist to going strictly to Catholicism to then going back to being Jewish. And when she changed her ways to being Jewish, she embraced her spiritual gifts again to be able to read people. So she was a nurse in a hospital, and there was somebody that was one of her clients was going in for surgery to remove cancer in her body. She had cancer all in her lower region. And she said to her, because she's a very somber person, very sweet, somber person. And she said to her, do you mind if I just put my hand over your stomach area and just say a little blessing? And the woman says, no, that's okay. And so she just sat with her for like 3 to 5 minutes and just did a blessing to the Holy Spirit. And she goes, all right, sweetheart. She goes, I wish you the best of luck in surgery. So the next day when her client went into surgery and they went to open her up, she was purely pink. There was no cancer.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And the doctors have no clue because on the screen it shows that she had cancer and they knew exactly where to go. And when they opened up this woman.
That's so fascinating. There's so much that we don't know and understand.
And it happens time and time and time again.
Yeah.
And there's a fellow who I know who treats people with cancer. He has removed cancer from people's bodies and helped people with dementia and get rid of dementia or improved it, or people who had MS.
Holistic?
Holistic. And he's Orthodox Jewish. And
Interesting.
but he's not like, he's spiritual, but spiritual through religious. But but he does things through holistically. His name's Dr. Adam Briner.
Okay.
Out of Connecticut.
You've mentioned him.
And what's interesting is that I had a virus within me.
Right.
And I went to the to my regular doctors. I go to a medical group in New Jersey. And so they first tested me to see what was wrong. And they said, Artie, you got this virus in you. And he says, you're stuck with it. You're stuck with it for he says, there's no cure for it. You're just with it for the rest of your life. And I just looked at him and says, all right. And I knew in my heart at some point, I knew like through certain, because I believe that there's a cure for everything.
Okay.
I do. Whether it be AIDS, whether it be cancer, whether it be heart condition, whatever it is, I believe in my heart and soul that there's a cure for everything. I just got to do a little research on my own because it's not going to happen through the medical system. All right. Traditional medicine.
Yeah. Western medicine.
So anyway, I went to Dr. Adam, and who we now are very good friends. And I went to Dr. Adam and I told him my ailment, and he goes, all right. And he gave me some natural herbs to take. And he put me on these 2 vibrational, I don't know what the word, machines. Yeah, these 2 vibrational machines. And he put it up against my body. And I took about 4 visits with him. And he checked his technical medical machine to test my body about viruses, parasites, bacteria, all that stuff. And he said to me, I said, what's my virus looking like now? He goes, Artie, it's not there. He goes, my machine shows that you don't have the virus anymore.
And did you get that verified by, traditional Western medicine?
Yeah. He goes, why don't you get a blood test just to make sure that, it's not crazy. So anyway, I go back to my doctor. All right. One of the doctors, it's a medical group. So, you don't get the same doctor. Mm-hmm. So I go back to my doctor and he walks into the office, and I said, he goes, what can I do for you? I says, I want you to, take my blood and bring it to the LabCorp and see if I still have the virus that they said I have. So he looked at it and he saw the virus I had, and he goes, all right. He was like, okay. He's like patting me on the
Yeah,
back.
that's right.
He's like, yeah, okay. All right. Well, he didn't actually do that,
Kind
but
of patronizing, and just sort of
patronizing,
doing you a favor. Like,
right.
oh, okay, I'm just going
all right,
to
let
go
me
through
just,
the motions.
yeah, go through the motions. And he's a very pleasant guy. He was,
because it's a type of virus that there is no cure
right,
for.
right. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And at least in the medical,
Yeah. According to
medical
Western
profession,
medicine.
Western medicine. Yeah. So he says, all right. He says, I'll take your blood. He says, we'll send it to LabCorp. He goes, my nurse will call you Monday morning. It was a Thursday.
Okay.
He goes, the nurse will call you Monday morning to let you know whether if you have it or not. And Friday morning, his nurse gave me a call and he said, Mr. Hoffman, she said, you no longer have the virus. He goes, it's not in your system.
That's crazy.
And
that doesn't make medical sense.
No,
there's no real explanation.
Right. So, and then he's also told me that he has other things within his office that has killed,
like devices
or certain vitamins. I'll just call it vitamins. I don't know what else to call it. Vitamins or cures for. He's not allowed to say cure. I'm sorry.
Herbs, ointments, whatever.
Right. They by the FDA rules, he's not allowed to say his office cures anything. But
of course.
Let's just say they get rid of stuff.
And is he
They're like the mafia. They get rid of stuff. Just nobody has to know. It's just between me and you. Nobody will get hurt, all right? That's right.
Yeah. But he is a medical Western.
Yeah, he's a medical doctor, but he's a holistic doctor.
Oh, okay. So that's different.
So if you want to, he's a medical holistic doctor. Yeah. And he's a very, very, very nice fella. I highly recommend it. I don't get anything from it. I'm just saying because if I could help people and he's out of Fairfield, Connecticut, an amazing person. I know he's not the only one, but from my personal experience, I had nothing but incredible results, and I'm forever grateful.
Okay, yeah, so, we will get his information and we'll put it below the
yeah. Later on, I'll find out his information.
Absolutely. Okay,
but
that's fascinating.
So anyway, as far as going back to your original question, when as far as what I do, as the way I heal people and stuff, it's like I said, it's just the spiritual world breaks all rules of physical reality. It could, and it's awesome to be a part of that world, and when people find out that I'm psychic or medium, it's like they're like so not used to that aspect of like, oh my God.
Well, they're fascinated and they're a little fearful at the same time. It's like, fear of the unknown. It's unusual. It's different. And, we're used to, modern religion and modern medicine. So people off the beaten path. It's frightening.
It is, but it's exciting. It's not just frightening, but it's exciting. So it's funny. So I was doing I was with a group of women. And
you're always with a group of women.
I'm always with a group of women. So after I got finished doing this one show, I said, women, I said, all you girls, I said, I feel very taken advantage of and I feel very abused. I said,
and you were loving every minute of it.
And I said, I feel very used right now. I said, all of you want me for my mind and not my body. I said, I'm taking it very personally right now.
That is so funny.
They were all laughing.
That you mix in humor with everything, and it's so needed because it's serious business. This stuff, the spirituality, the psychic stuff, the medium stuff. I mean, this is, it's.
Listen, everything that I do, I have to do it with a sense of humor. Otherwise, forget about it. I've never been just a straight up serious. Listen, we talk about serious. That's what these books are about too. These books are about. I talk about all these deep topics about life, about spirituality, about relationships, and I explain things in a very, very simplistic way. So if you want to know more about life, more about spirituality, more about yourself, then you'll go for these books, Angels and Answers, and have your angels call my angels.
I love that one. Have your
Angels call my angels.
angels.
And the only reason why I wrote this book is because more people wanted more information from this book. They said
There you
they
go.
didn't
That's
have
how it
enough.
goes. Yeah.
So one of my friends who really supported me, my friend Valentina, she says, Art, you have to, she says, I'll help you. She says, you have to write another book. People want more of what you've already written. And so I did. And so then, after doing so many shows and telling people about all my past experiences and people being fascinated, I said, you know what? I'm going to write a book just on my experiences and stuff and testimonials and stuff. And like I said, the name of the book is called Was It Something I Said?
Yeah. Love
So-
that. Cannot wait for it to come out. It'll be available on Amazon. It's going to be a real good one. Okay. So quick question.
Quick answer.
All right. Difference between ego and the soul.
Oh, wow. Big difference.
Tell us.
And
we want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
You want to know something? I wrote something. Now, the ego is from the body. All right. The soul. So I'm going to express something to you. So there's the ego with each person that's born. All right. Even with animals, because people ask, do animals have souls? The answer is 100% yes, they have souls too, on a different level than humans. But yes, they have souls too. All animals do. But with the ego and the soul. So I wrote this piece on a post not too long ago.
Okay.
And it said, the mind, body, and spirit. The mind thinks and creates. And the mind feels. The body reacts to what the mind is feeling and creating. And the soul is observing what's going on with yourself.
Interesting.
So your mind creates and feels, your body responds. When I say the body responds, your body could respond by sweating. Your body could respond by getting sick. Your body could respond by being healed. Your body could respond by breaking out in hives.
Well, we somatize. And it's something that a lot of people experience where they sometimes where their emotional life that they're experiencing actually affects them physically and
yes,
health-wise.
100%.
Yeah, so that's
and
there's a medical term called to somatize.
I'm very impressed. Yeah. You brought something new to my life.
I got to contribute a little bit as well, right?
I'm very impressed.
You should.
I couldn't even say that word again if you paid me $1 million.
It's okay.
But
it's all right. It's because I somatize.
There you
That's
go.
why I'm familiar
I love
with it. Yeah.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
And so anyway, with the mind and the soul, the mind, body, and soul. So the soul, which is who we really are, your soul is using this body. Your body is not who you are.
I never thought it was.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and use me and abuse me.
There's too much
for
of
the,
it.
For the pig that I am.
Some.
For the pig that I am. Just use me and abuse me, please. But the soul uses this body to express itself.
Right.
And once people die, the body dies, the physical body dies. But once that happens, the soul lifts up out of the body and the person no longer feels any pain. And if they were blind, they could see. If they only had one leg, they have two. If they had any aches and pains in their body, their soul's no longer connected. So now they're 100% purely healthy. So don't feel like however your loved one was when they passed away, that they're, oh my God, are they still hurting? Are they still in pain? Or can I send them meds? Or maybe maybe they need more money. Here, King Tut brought all this gold jewelry for the next life. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. There was a famous actor, I think Morgan Freeman said, there is no hearse that is followed by a U-Haul.
That's really funny. That is funny.
So you can't bring your things with you into the next life.
Yeah. No,
you can't. You leave them behind for your family to fight over. Your friends.
Sadly.
Yeah. Unless if you got a really good lawyer and that's why it's important to have a good will. So, but I want you, because you have a much better speaking voice than I do.
Oh my God.
I want you to read what I wrote about the ego versus the soul.
Okay, I can do that for you.
Can you do that for me? And I'm going to find it. I only wrote the book, but I don't know where the hell it is. No. So read that piece. When you ask the ego versus the
That's
soul.
what it's called. Ego versus the soul. Your ego will do in the moment for instant gratification. Your soul will guide you upon what's best for you in the long run and the overall good. Your ego sees only what's in front of you. Your soul will allow you to have complete awareness to understand beyond immediate appearances. Your ego will defend your actions. Your soul will ask for forgiveness. Your ego can keep you emotionally off balance. Your soul will give you harmony and balance. Your ego lives in fear. Your soul lives for love and to be happy. God loves you unconditionally and blesses you with free will for you to make your own decisions and choices. Amen. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for showing me that.
Yes. And so God gives everyone free will. And, we all have an ego. So a lot of times people say, hey, Art, can you read for yourself? And I can't.
That's true.
Yeah. I can't read for
I've
myself.
often wondered, can
And
you
most
read for yourself?
most psychics cannot read
So
for
you go to a
themselves. And
psychic?
I go to another. I have other friends that are psychics and mediums, and I'll ask like 2 or 3 of them to see if the story is
Really?
the same. Yeah, because my friends are connected to me. Because a lot of times you can't read people who are that close to you, or you can't read
Right.
for yourself. Now the reason being is that when I get downloaded messages, I don't know.
Downloaded? Is
Yeah.
that what you call it?
Yeah. So when I get messages for myself, I don't know if that's coming from my ego or is that coming through spiritually? Is spirit giving me those messages or is this my ego telling me what I want to hear? Or maybe I'm thinking like, no, it's not going to work. So my ego is getting in the way of spirituality because I'm too close to the outcome. So if the person who is reading you or you're reading yourself, if you're too emotionally invested in the outcome, then you're not going to be able to see clearly. And that's why as a psychic, more than 95% of the times, we can't predict lottery numbers, or we can't, if people ask me for the lottery number,
Yes, and a lot of people say that. Well, if he's a psychic, why
why
doesn't
don't you just
he?
do the lottery? Yeah,
Yeah,
because the ego,
exactly.
it's not meant for that. Although I have given out well over 100 winning lottery numbers to people.
Now I know what I'm going to do later.
To people or investments. I have.
Really?
But if
Okay.
they ask me for it, I can't give it.
Ah, okay. It
So
just has to come to you.
It has to come to me. So there are times when I'm reading people and then all of a sudden one of their relatives or friends will just give me a number, or their angel will give me a number. And I say, oh, here, play this number. And I said, play for about a week. If it comes out within a week, great. If not, don't worry about it. And like well over 100 times, people have told me like, oh my God, Artie, they text me. Oh my God, Artie, I won this amount of money. Or
Fascinating.
and it's like, I'm really, really happy for them. I'm really happy for
I
them.
know. I believe it. I believe that you are. Wow, this has been incredible.
Wait,
that is so interesting.
Can I tell you a true story?
No, lie to me again. Keep lying. Yes, please tell me a true story.
I'm going to tell you a true story. This is also a great story that people love to hear. So here I am. I'm doing one of my Artie parties.
I love that name.
Yeah, I call my parties Artie Party. And listen, if you want me to be at your home with your friends and family, if you're buying, I'm flying, baby. I will be there for you. If you want to meet me in person and get the most amazing reading and also connect to the spiritual world or your loved ones or your angels, I'll be happy to do it for you. And I am based out of New Jersey, so just take that into consideration. So there's true story.
Go on.
All right, it's going to be our thing now forever. True story. Truisms. People have actually called them Artie truisms.
That's interesting. That's a good catchphrase.
Yeah, Artie truisms.
So give me another Artie truism. Let's go.
Okay, I'll do it only for you.
Okay, thank you, darling.
So here I am. I'm sitting on the couch with this woman, and she's a few years older than me. And she said to me, Artie, because I was reading for her at a finished basement at her friend's house.
Okay.
And we're sitting on the couch. And she goes, Artie, before you start, I have to stop you. And it made me laugh. I go, okay, what's up? And she goes, you read for me here at this party 2 years ago. And I don't remember. And let alone being at the house, I don't remember her or what I said. And she goes, and you told me 2 years ago that I need to start gambling or I needed to start either going to Atlantic City, or I need to start playing the lottery because you saw me winning tens of thousands of dollars or thousands and thousands of dollars. And I said to you at the time that I'm not a gambler, and I'm still not a gambler. And I'm saying, all right, well, where's this going? You're not a gambler.
Exactly.
I can appreciate the fact that you've never gambled in your life, but I would have been happier if you told me, oh yeah, I gambled and I broke my own rule and I won $80 million, you know? And so she says, what happened 6 months after your reading was my birthday to the day. And she goes, one of my sons, I had 3 of my sons come over to my place to help celebrate my birthday. And my youngest son, in my birthday card, got me those little $2 birthday scratch offs. They have the $2 birthday scratch offs. You can win something. She was my first scratch off. I won $50,000.
No way.
And I said, whoa. I said, how cool is that?
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
That was pretty wild.
That's a good story. And it's a
Yeah.
true story.
It's it's
That's
an
an
Artie
Artie
truism.
truism.
Exactly. It's an
And on that note, we're going to have to say goodbye.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure.
it's always a pleasure. We'll
I
be
love
back.
sharing time with you.
Oh my God, stop.
Esther.
Oh my God, the same here. Thank you so much.
So
It's
much
been
fun.
Great.
You don't have to thank me, baby. It's my pleasure.
All right.
That's what I'm
Thank you.
talking
Until
about.
next time, guys.
Gotcha.
Ciao, ciao.
Soul to soul, feel the rhythm flow. Heart wide open, let your spirit glow. With Artie Hoffman, now you know. Soul to soul, let's go.